All right, everybody, good morning and welcome to a very brief pre market show for Friday, November the 28th. My name is Barry Anderson, moderator of your trading rooms. William, or somebody let me know if you guys can hear me, see my screen. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Good. And maybe somebody, I see Shaw, you're in our YouTube room. So maybe you can let me know. Make sure you guys can hear me and see my screen also. So remember, guys, the market's closed at 1 o'clock Eastern time. I'll be probably taking off at noon. Okay. Did do a little bit of pre-market work. I did see the SMX popping on. Somebody said it was the financing. No, no, no. I'm completely wrong. It was the KTTA. SMX moving. Didn't see any specific reason for it. This one, though, William mentioned this one, ABVE. Yeah. Partnership with, so targets more than $30 million in profit for FY ending January 1st. So next year. No, this year. This year, January 1st. Yeah, this year, or a couple of months from now, or less than a couple of months from now. I think they said they were getting rid of some debt too. Well, at any rate, this is moving on all that news. Looking left, looks like there's some resistance, little areas of resistance on the way up. Well, Steve, I can give you another link. Did you? Okay, I'm talking to Steve in our YouTube room. Did you fill out the? Did you change your password? It's the only reason I can think of. I'm sorry. I thought I had a Pepe. What's that link? The Pro Trade. Somebody has that link. I thought I actually had saved it somewhere, but I guess I didn't. I forgot to save it. The link, the Pro Trading Room link. Well, if you're a newbie, I would start off with the blue bundle. I mean, I call that the standard. Okay, standard service. You can start off with that. You can always upgrade later on if you really think the AI is worthwhile. Just give me one moment, please. There it is. Okay, so you can try this, Stevie. I promise, I'm gonna save this link somewhere. Just give me a moment. Okay. All right. Yeah, I know that link will work. I don't know why the link on my homepage is not working for you. It's probably because you haven't. I know you say you haven't changed your password. I would, if you're, I would change your password. You may wake up one morning and not be able to get into trade ideas, but it's up to you. Completely up to you. Okay, so ADTX. This is reporting sale of. Now, this was after hours on Wednesday. Okay, remember the market was closed yesterday, so this was a little bit of news. Okay, I see ABVE is just hanging underneath 3 right now. But I thought, so this is the BMNR, a two-timer, two-time ETF for BMNR, and it's up 10%, so 10.5%. So BNR, MNR, the stock itself, will be up 5.25. And as people were saying, yeah, Bitcoin is having a bit of a surge again. Bitcoin's up $1,300, up to 92,000. All right, let me get my layout. I almost snuck up on me that I'm going to use once the market or the 9:30 open. Now, I have no idea if I'm going to do any trading today, guys. I really don't like these half days at all, but we'll see. I think I changed this today, just for today. I think I changed this so that, let me just see. No, I didn't. Okay. I think I have somewhere else. I usually delay this for 15 minutes. I'll keep it like that. See what happens. Did I swing shorts? Tell us no. I would never. I don't swing very much at all, and I would probably never swing a short. Oh, I'm sure it's, you were mentioning this one a few weeks ago, I think, cutting the dividend, et cetera. All right, guys, 9:30 is almost upon us. About a minute. So, well, let's have a great trading day if you're gonna trade. Okay, the ABVE is challenging 3 again. So it's right at the VWAP. ABVE is right at the VWAP. All right, guys, we are now open. TMC had a big day on Friday. I recall just seeing that near the end of the day, TMC. So continuation right now, TMC. Intel, INTC. What's happening with Intel, guys? INTC, little pop here. Big pop. A lot of volume. INTC moving smartly right now. Above the high on Friday. Next high is looking left on a daily chart. Either, let's see, 38.28. So a little bit of room, a little bit of room. A couple of daily highs right there. A little bit of room. ABVE really giving it up now, guys. Doesn't look like three is going to break it. It's going to break three. ABV really giving it up. But KTTA is not. KTTA, so this is what you were saying, announcing a public offering, 80 million shares at 75 cents a share, and it is just soaring on that. Interesting. Not shortable for me at Interactive Brokers, and it just got halted. So there, that answers your question, William, regarding. I was a little didn't quite understand why you thought there would be no halts today. Just because lack of volume or acceleration. Anyway, KTTA just got halted. Wolf, not okay, WULF, not WOLF. Move also, WULF, a move. Yeah, SMX is halted on the way down. Yeah, SMX halted on the way down. Cipher, CIFR. Nice pop here for Cipher, CIFR. Has room. Wow, got a lot of room. The thing is getting there, of course, but $22, a little over 20, a little over 22. Next high looking left on the daily. So there's a couple of dollars to the next high. All right, Caper, CAPR, another little pop here for this stock. Didn't see this one. 602 though is the next high. A little bit of room. 602, the next high in the daily. A little bit of room for it to run. I think you mentioned this one in the pre-market, William. JMIA, JMIA. And the breaking above. It's had a nice, nice 3-day, 4-day run from 9 to 1260. And the market. Let's take a look at the first time was in 934. So this is the first 5-minute bar. You know, the trend was starting to move down, 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 but here is your opening 5-minute bar. There's right at the VWAP, purple line on the SPY chart. That is the VWAP. So let's see if that stops it, acts as resistance, but it is early. And this is still negative for the day, guys, but it's trying to come back. ONCY, ONCY, down 10%, or nine, almost 10%, 9% for the day. Trying to come back. Cheap one for those of you who don't mind playing stocks under a dollar. You see what it did? It got right into the 200-day moving average and 87 cents. Silver, I saw this one, this First Majestic. I saw this one in the pre-market thinking, wow, nice little move over 14, and now even a better move. And that's, I think the precious metals, I'm just going to read this, shares of gold stocks, but precious metals, this is Wednesday, hoping that the Fed will cut rates in December. So let's take a look at silver, SLV. Yeah, so look at silver moving here, guys. This is an ETF, and I'm sure gold is doing the same thing. GLD probably doing the same thing. Who's more? Yeah, so silver is definitely moving more. This is only up 0.77%. Silver, SLV, up 3%, and an all-time high for this ETF, SLV. And here's a silver play, EXK. Savara, SVRA. SVRA, let's see if there's any news on this one. I don't see any news for SVRA. Okay, guys. Now this one is really starting to give it up. Big 2 days for QNTM, but got as high as 1252, right back down, a $2 drop from the high of the day. That is QNTM. Not many shares available for me. Only 32,000 in Interactive Brokers, and they say they're suing CIBC and RBC for $700 million over alleged stock spoofing. Okay. Canadian company. Of course, a couple of the big Canadian banks. Well, that's interesting. I guess I have to look up what exactly what stock spoofing means. Another silver. Look at the silver plays, guys. PAAS, AG. We saw EXK. Silver is super strong today. Super strong. Remember the silver SLV, the ETF is up about 3%. These are the individual stocks. So here's PAAS. Lifetime high for Pan American Silver. Lifetime high. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Back. So anyway, yeah, PAAS. So a lot of these silver plays are making all-time highs, all-time highs. I mean, I remember seeing PAAS for years and years and years. Little oil play. Not sure. Oh, there are. Wow, there's shares available. 1.22 million available to short for IMPP. For me at Interactive Brokers, I'm very surprised. Okay, well, thank you, Shadan. I mean, it's very possible that's what it is. I mean, that's why I never look at level two because of that's been going on for years, it seems, though. But okay, talking about putting big orders in and then yanking them. That's why when people ask me, do I look at level two? And I basically say, nope. Vuzi, guys, VUZI. Take a look at the next high looking left, around $3. So it's a little too close. Okay, so I think SMX got halted on the way down and then it popped and now it's halted on the way up. SMX. No, I don't find the level two helpful for my style of trading anyway. And that's not to say people are using who are listening to me and saying, well, wait a minute. I love using level two. Keep doing it then. Okay. Never going to say just because I don't do something that you shouldn't. I'm not just talking to you, Shadan, but anybody listening to me. All right, guys, 9:44. So I'm just waiting to see what we're going to get in here, the gap continuation or reversal window or scan. And I have a delay on this, okay, on purpose. I don't like to see things in the first 15 minutes. And why is GME moving? GME, okay. Okay, GME looks for buzz with a wild trade anything promotion. Trade anything day. Okay, that's their trade anything. All right. CMBT, been a super active one also. The next high looking left, pretty close actually on on the monthly chart, around 1138, pretty close. Boy, look how wild ABVE has been. Look at the bottoming tail and topping tail. Look at the bottoming tail down there to 252, big topping tail up here at 306. So who knows? Maybe it'll get back over three again. This is the spread, or sorry, the float, 14.8 million. So not a huge float, not a crazy low float though. Okay, new one here, guys. IBRX is on the move. IBRX. looking left, 244 though. You got to have a couple of daily highs right there, and then 261. So for me, the next highs on the daily too close. Plus, you've got the 200-day moving average at 260. Too close for me to get interested. KTTA guys is still hanging around the two level. High today was just a little over two, so 208. I think I saw your comment in the pre-market, William or somebody else. Yeah, it seems pretty crazy that this stock is trading at $1.70 when they've done a financing at 75 cents, 80 million shares. So really, the float is going to go up, but must be something else going on that just not aware of, or shareholders are saying, "Great, you're raising a lot of money." It's not usual. SMX guys, cracking 40 now. SMX cracking 40. It just opened. Wow. Oh, remember, got halted at 36.36, popped up to 40. That's why this is such a low float. A $40 stock with a million in the float. You are going to get some wild action. Okay, guys. ONMD. I saw this one a little bit earlier also, making a little bit of a move. I think we just talked about this when I looked at it. Didn't like it. $2 is the next high. So nothing happening in here yet. 949. Oh, just as I speak, so riot, guys. So riot is a gap up and go. Riot is a gap up and go. Now, look at that red line on the daily chart. What that represents is the net. Well, it's at that high right there. So 1647 is the next high. It's too close. The next high after that is 1682. I don't know. I mean, to me, for me anyway, it just isn't good enough. Not enough room looking left for me to be interested. Doesn't mean it's not going to just crash right through all this. Bitcoin play, of course, or crypto play. Now, ADTX, a little cheap though to short gap up, and this is a gap up and reversal. Well, you know what? I mean, the next low looking left is down here at 240. So there is room. There is room. Now, Riot may just break through all those little areas that I thought may stick it or get it stuck. May just break right through all that, but I just won't take it. This Zixi, is this still under a dollar? No, it's over a dollar. Okay, ZYXI, big day on Friday. Went from 69 cents, got up to two, closed here at 160 or so. So it's almost at the close of Friday. ADTX is halted, yes. ADTX is halted on the way down. STNE, a little bit of a move here. What is the on the weekly next high looking left is 1690. So there is, and on the daily, so that weekly high is the same as that daily high. So there's a little bit of room for this one to move. So both Riot and Mara. So Luis, I don't. So it depends on what's happening. Now, hopefully you're not trying to automate the AI. You're trying to automate your own strategies, Luis, because you cannot automate the AI. Okay. Um, so you've looked in the guide, right? Let me bring up Brokerage Plus. I've never automated anything, so bear with me. Where's Brokerage Plus? Okay, so you know how to add your strategy in here, right? You know how to add your strategy in here? And you're aware of okay, so you used it before. So you were able to add a strategy, and you know how to turn it on, turn the strategy on. This is really different now. Here we go. Okay, sorry. So you know how to okay, new trading strategy, you know how to add it on, you know you have to turn it on, you know the strategy, you have to click to enable it every day, every single day. You have to okay. And then you know you have up here, you edit the trading strategy and you know you have your entry time, your order. Now, could it be the limit offset? Could it be the limit offset? Sometimes now when you say it's not working, you know how to use the limit offset. The other thing is you have to make sure that you've selected the account. Okay, you know how to okay, just going over all this. You know that you have to where is it in the accounts, you know you have to select your account. So in the configuration area, I'm probably going to have to too late for the strategy. Hmm, that is out of my too late for the strategy. You're probably going to have to send then to Chris. He'll have to take a look at it, okay? Because what he'll yeah, because you cannot automate anything in the pre-market. But you do know how to you know you have to hit your account. So in the configuration, you have to go to account. You have to select the account, your IB or whatever you're using, connect it. But that doesn't sound like that's the issue. What if you set it for 9:31? You know, automating right at 9:30. I mean, I don't know. Now, if you say you used it in the simulator and you felt it was working pretty nicely, okay. But boy, taking trades right at 9:30. But more than likely, Chris is going to have to help you. He's going to have to. He's probably going to have. You're going to have to send the log to him. Okay. Send your log file so he can take a look at it and examine what's going on. Well, I have no idea what that means when it says too late for the strategy. Never heard of that one before, but maybe try to make it at 9:31 just to see if that helps. Well, that's the other thing. I mean, accounts, I mean, that's what we're, if you click on accounts, it's got to be connected to a live account. Hmm. What time zone are you in, Luis? Are you in North America? The only other thing I can think of is that it's messing. Your clock is messed up, perhaps. I know what I do. Even though I'm in Vancouver, I set my computer to East Coast time. Trade ideas at East Coast time, so everything is consistent. I mean, I know you can set it up in your, the time zone you want and all, but I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Okay, because it sounds like it's sort of messing up the time zone. So, for instance, when you're looking at your chart, what time? What time does it say? Does it say? Yeah, you can set, but if you're, I mean, you probably, if you click, go to tools and then options, and then you see where it says time options. Okay, now more than likely, you can either say local time or Eastern time. Local time will be your whatever your computer is set at. You're in the East Coast, so more than likely that. But there's Eastern time zone right there too. Yeah, so that doesn't sound like like that's the issue. So unless Pepe has something, I would just info at trade-ideas.com, and Chris will probably have to take a look at your log. Something I just can't do. And have you done that before? Sending the log? Help send files to support. Have you done that before? Okay. Hopefully it's something you're using E-Trade. Now, E-Trade, that might be the issue because I know that E-Trade has a real difficulty. I was hoping you were using IB. E-Trade has a real difficulty processing orders at the market open, as far so it's E-Trade. So Luis, it is an E-Trade issue. Okay, it's E-Trade has a real difficulty processing orders right at the open. It's not impossible, but if you're sending, that's probably the issue. I've heard that from day one. Okay, so it's got nothing to do with. It's not a bug within Trade Ideas, and I don't call it a bug with E-Trade, but that's, as William says so succinctly, E-Trade sucks for the first 10 minutes of the day. Okay, so that's the issue. That is the issue. So don't send the logs to Chris. Okay, you're going to have to just deal with that if you want to persist using E-Trade, and you might have to. Well, IB is better in that regard. Yes. But on the other hand, I mean, you know, I don't want you to switch to IB just so you can trade at 9:30. But I mean, if you're bound and determined that you want to take trades right when the market opens, then you won't be able to use E-Trade. Yeah, I would make it 9:40, okay, maybe in 9:45 and see. I mean, it seems ridiculous that E-Trade has this issue, but they do. Okay, so Pepe says he used 9:40 in the past, so he's had E-Trade before. Okay, so that should solve it. TMC guys. Yeah, Hoofer in our YouTube room. So yeah, in the main room, people are saying the same thing. Having problems executing trades on Thinkorswim right now. Okay, guys. Now this is a gold play here. AAUC 2118 was the alert. Okay, so it hasn't moved yet. Okay, Kev. Yeah. Oh, it's 10 o'clock already. Okay, so yeah, I'll go over my homepage right now. Actually. All right, guys. If you click on my homepage link, this is what you're going to see at the very top. A way in which you can take out a subscription to trade ideas. So now, I wouldn't do this unless you know you want the program, okay? But you can get 30% off a premium annual subscription. But I would not hop into it. If you don't know this program, please don't do that because, it's, the when you take out an annual, you have to read about refunds and all that. So make sure what I would always start off with a standard subscription on a monthly, and you can always upgrade later on if that's what you want to do. But if you know the program and you want to take out a premium annual subscription, you can get 30% off. Otherwise, you can get 25% off all the other subscriptions. Other ones meaning the two monthlies, the premium monthly and the standard monthly, or a standard annual. So again, you can get 30% off a premium annual. All I ask is if you're going to take out a subscription sometime in the future, please use my code. Helps to keep the rooms free. Company tracks the use of the promo codes and they see, look at SMX. Sorry. What a move. What a move. SMX now. The company tracks the promo code usage. So if they see my code being used enough, they don't mind keeping the YouTube room and this room free. Okay. And just a quick word about the rooms. Today's a sort of a special day, of course, because it was only a half a day. I got in late. I said I would. Typically, well, the room is open. The main room, this room right here, is open at Obi will open it starting again on Monday at quarter to 7. I'm assuming. If you're not going to do that, tell me, Obi. And the YouTube room, I try to open around 8:30, and I get on the mic at 9 for both rooms. So I live in Vancouver, Canada. That's why I don't open the room at quarter to 4 my time. And I usually go to now again. This is a special day, obviously half a day. My typical hours are usually take off sometime between 2 and 2:30, or I'll always stay later if there are questions. But after I leave, William tends to keep the room open after I leave. Okay, and it's up to him for how long he wants to keep the room open after I leave. I don't know what you're going to do, what anybody is going to do today. I know the future. I know the post market is still open till. Did you say 6 p.m. Eastern? Obi, I think that's what you said. So if you do want to take out a subscription to Trade Ideas, the first thing you must do is if you click on my homepage link, go to the education section, click on the more info, and scroll down, getting started with Trade Ideas. First thing you must do, 12 short videos to get you started. If you don't have Trade Ideas and you're wondering about it, what I would do, I would start off on that second video and go to the 12th. That should give you an idea about what. Excuse me. Okay, William just said he'll keep the room open till 1 o'clock Eastern time. So I'm going to leave probably at about noon. So anyway, Taking a look at the 11 videos, you don't have to look at the first one if you don't have the program, of course, but taking a look at the 11 short videos, that should give you an idea about whether or not this is the type of program you might want to try, at least for a month. Back to basics. If you're new to trading, this is for you. A free series of videos, 15 of them that will, you know, if you don't know how to trade at all, if you don't know how to analyze a chart, I would absolutely look at this. And it's not going to give you, it's not going to make you an expert or anything like that, but at least it give you, as it's called, back to basics. Trade Ideas is a fabulous program, but it's called Ideas for a reason. If you click on a symbol and it loads into a chart and you have no idea what it's trying to tell you, then you better take a look at this back to basics at least. And I would also practice trading in our simulator for a while. Okay. Simulator uses our real-time data. You keep scrolling. I should always do this first. Okay. So if you clicked on my homepage link, you can scroll down a little bit more. Keep it simple. Get the trade of the week. So you can fill this in. Now, and it's free, you'll get it before the market opens every Monday morning. Now, if you sign up for it and you don't think you're getting it, before you contact us, please check your spam folder. And if you have Gmail, check your promotions folder. Okay. If you don't see it there, either of those two folders, then contact us and we'll try to figure out why you're not getting it. And last, if you're looking for my scans, okay, or you clicked on my homepage link, scroll down, here they are. Now, technically, they're not all scans. I have a couple of races, one race here, one race here, large cap race, then a wide open race. This is the movers to the upside versus movers to the downside. CHA is an earnings play, by the way. CHAA is an earnings play. This is the gap continuation or reversal right here. Pulse resumes is down here. I do have some other scans that I am sharing. I do not have them open. The momentum scan. Now I do actually have the combo scan. I just to check to see. Don't get too many alerts from it. This is what I use in the pre-market. Pre-market actives up and the pre-market actives down. So you can take a look at these if you want. But I have to admit, these are the two that I really pay attention to, especially this one, especially the gap scan. There are four scans in here. A gap up and go, a gap down and reverse, gap up and reverse, and a gap down and go. These are all individual alert windows that I put into this multi-strategy window. Look at, wow, SMX, what a move. And this was halted before NXTT. Pretty active today so far, guys. So yeah, a lot of halts and resumes even. I don't know if I don't know. I remember that they said a long time ago, I don't know if it's excuse me, 2.5 days, the AI doesn't typically work. And that's by design. So I don't know if that's the case today. Excuse me, if that's official. I'm just gonna ask the question of the guys, see if anybody knows for sure. So I've just asked the question. I know a long time ago they were considering disabling it for half days. There's only a few of them. There's only a few of them that would get, or a few days that would be affected in the year. So So this is a nice little gold play, guys. It's AAUC, okay, a lifetime high. Gold and silver, you're going to see a lot of stocks at lifetime highs. And this was from our. This is from the gap scan, a gap up and go. Always recommend that you have the don't repeat version also, okay, of this. You can see where it was first alerted, 2107. You can see it's at 2139 now. Okay. If you don't know how to create the don't repeat, let me know and I'll show you how. All right, market. What is the market doing? So market is just sort of chopping around the VWAP. Pretty typical for the last few days, and then finally makes up its mind what direction. But I don't know what's going to happen today, of course, with half a day. There's no time frame, Poe. These are real time alerts. So it doesn't matter what time frame you're looking at. These are real time alerts, highs of the day or lows of the day, depending on what. So it's got nothing to do with the time frame. Oh, the don't repeat. I'm excuse me for the day. For the day. I'm sorry for the day. I don't repeat for the day. So I can see where the first alert was, the time, and then go check back and see. First of all, number one, has it moved at all, or how well did it do from the alert? So I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't repeat for the day. This, of course, is the repeating version. Every time a stock would make a new low or new high, you'll see it here. Definitely was a nice one, guys. AAUC. This looks like a fairly either a symbol name change or maybe this was an IPO. I don't really remember it. Canadian. Yeah, I don't really remember this. Maybe this was a symbol name change because it started trading as AAUC in June this year. So remember, guys, this is a trading room, but it's also a support room. So if you have questions, don't be shy. You can ask me questions all day long. Do my best to answer them. If it's an accounting type question, probably can't answer. Don't have access to your accounts, but I can direct you to the people who do. Okay. Wow. You know why I'm saying wow? Look at SMX now, guys. Well, here's the irrational. I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, up $43, 249% SMX, and it just got halted on the way up again. And let's take a look at where it could open. So this screen I'm showing, this is from Interactive Brokers. Okay, nothing to do with trade ideas. This is time and sales from Interactive Brokers. And here's your halt price, 60.83. Can't see the symbol, but it is SMX. And potential open area, 65. And if you're not familiar with halts and resumes, you can see it's been halted several times. The only thing I'm going to say, Luis, is it super important that you take a trade at 9:30 or in the first 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, you know my feeling on it. I like to wait at least 15 to let things settle down a little bit. And, but, I'm not trying to talk you out of it, but I'm just wondering if you might be, just keep sticking with E-Trade and just, only starting at 9:41 or 9:40 just to see. Mm, so that was an uplisting. Okay, thank you, Obi. So that was an uplisting. Okay, well, if it's not the only bug, okay. Well, this is one that I mean, I don't know if we're going to look back on this and say, "Wow, remember when this was 24 cents or 25 cents?" This is the amaze. It's been very active. I don't trade these under a dollar, but I know some of you will. And the next high looking left is around 89 cents. So, oh, sorry, it is not. Next high is 63 cents. Oh, if that's the case, yeah, okay. Luis, then by all means, contact Chris. All right, guys. Now, QNTM, I know they're suing for a whole bunch of money, but it's not helping today. QNTM down 14%. But understand, it's not our issue, Luis, with E-Trade. It's not our issue. It's E-Trade itself. Okay. Okay. Because even if you weren't trying to use Brokerage Plus to automate trades using E-Trade, people just find it really hard to use E-Trade in the first 10 minutes. So it's got, yeah, we can't do anything about it. The other issues that you're having, it could be more of a, Brokerage Plus issue and not anything to do, even if you switch brokers to IB. So I don't want to give you the impression that if you switch to IB, certainly your initial the problems between 9:30 and 9:40 would more than likely go away, but the other things might still persist that you're finding that you're seeing. So nice move, guys. AAUC just how look how even on a 2-minute chart, look how gentle that is. When I say gentle, you don't see a lot of what's the spread or the 90 million in the float. So it's not crazy high. It's not a really high flow. It's not low, but look how beautiful that is on a 2-minute and using the trade wave. Okay. So anybody who wants to know how to enact the trade wave on your chart, let me know. Okay. It's part of the standard service. And I find it's a great visual aid to help to keep you in a trade. It's not a matter of seeing a buy flag or a sell flag, really. Yeah, SLNH, I see it over on another SLNH, little pop. However, let's take a look left on the daily chart. You've got a bunch of 4 daily highs around $2. So now if it could take that out, then the next high is around 250. So for me, that's why I can't take this trade or I won't take the trade. Yeah, CHA is it's the only earnings play that I see today, guys, that are meeting my filter requirements. CHA has a little bit of room still. 1593 next high looking left. Now, I think SMX just got halted on the way down, right? Now, this is not shortable for me. Not that I would want to. I mean, sure, would I want to if I could, if I knew that 60 was the high and was going to. But look at now. So here we have 54 on the halt price for SMX, and now with a potential open in the 47 mark. Yeah, you said V triple E popping here. Yeah, so I'm not seeing any alerts yet from our AI. I'm, I was told that you could get some, but it's because the volume is typically so light that on a half day you probably won't. If we do get, you probably only get one or two, maybe max, or none. Well, I passed up an opportunity to short this IMPP just underneath 5. So let's see if Ryan does take out that area that I was saying that could stall at. You look at that red line right there. That's the next high looking left. So Bitcoin, let's take a look at IBIT just out of curiosity. It's had a nice little run, probably a 3 or 4 day run now. 3 day run, counting today, through the 200-day moving average. So this is an ETF for Bitcoin. Maybe look. I mean, right? Might just crash, break everything that I thought it might stall at. I mean, this looks so strong. This allied gold AAUC. Now, it's not really a lifetime. I mean, it says lifetime high. It was an uplisting from Nasdaq. I won or from the OTC. So since it got uplisted, yes. I wonder what it was lifetime high in the OTC. I mean, it may have been way down here, but you can see it says a lifetime range, 106%. So that means that remember it doesn't count today. So that AAUC is kind of trading a little more on its own because look at gold. I mean, gold is, I mean, it's still a little mildly positive, but it's starting to drift down a bit. AAUC though is, running still well, which leads me to my next segue into this. I want to do this every single day because I think it's especially if you're kind of new, but even if you're not, want to show you this channel. So if you click on new from the channel bar and then click on docked channel bar, I'm going to say it 3 times. Docked channel bar, not channel bar, docked channel bar. Okay. If you click on the other channel bar and you click on a channel in there, your layout will disappear. But if you click on the docked channel bar, you can take a look at all these different channels. They're all theme based, and you can kind of scroll, you can kind of load them. Watch what I do. I'm going to click on the show more, and I'm going to click on sector status. So that's the sector status channel. And notice that my layout is still here. And that's why you want to go to the docked channel bar, and that's going to allow you to just surf through the different channels, and your layout will still remain in behind. So here are the, I've got to get them to do this in, soon. I want them to, they got to add the XRT. I mean, XRT is a major ETF. It's not here, but anyway. So what this is telling us, 92% of the sectors are up. Okay. The top one is XLE, which is energy. Okay. So energy. So the energy sector is the top sector right now. Top meaning it has moved the most from the close of Wednesday, the day before. And this one is the weakest one. Now, it's not terribly weak, but XLV, which is healthcare. Okay. So that is sort of at a glance telling you what's happening with the major sectors. Here you can sort of drill down and see now individual stocks within the sectors. So what I would do is I would take a look at some sector that is, here's financials, for instance, okay, XLF. What that 96% means is that 96% of the stocks that make up XLF are above the previous day's close. Now, they don't all have to be ripping higher. They just have to be up at least like 0.0001%. But look at this, 4%. So this probably means that one of the stocks, or maybe a couple, they're down. So PNC and CB are down. So they're running counter to the sector. Now, they're not down a huge amount, but what if you saw something was really down a lot and yet the overall sector was up? I would click on that and see what's happening. Or, you take a look and here's the top one, JPM, JP Morgan. Click on it, see what's happening. Materials, the same thing, 85% are up, but there are some that are down. Let's see if there's anything down a lot. Not a huge amount. AMCR is down, a little bit from Wednesday's close. But that's how you can kind of look in the individual sectors. You can see what the strong sectors are, what the strongest ones are, and if there's a weak one, well, maybe take a look at XLV and and see if is there one that's really weak. Here's Gilead and Gilead or Gilead. I can't remember if it's a hard G or soft G, but anyway, this is down for whatever reason. I don't know if there's any news on it, but so this is something that if you didn't want to have any scans and you just really wanted to concentrate on, say, larger cap stocks and finding out the strongest ones and the weakest ones within the sectors, this is something you could probably do every day if you wanted. And just look at this channel and nothing else. I'm not saying to do that, but it's an interesting idea. Brr, BRR. This is a SPAC. That's what I thought so. So right at $10. And SMX halted up or down again, or up again, down again. Well, guys, I've been talking about this AAUC and how this is exactly the type of trade that you want to see every single day. Maybe 2 or 3 of these that are just moving inch by inch, penny by penny, up, never breaking the wave. Wow, good for you, IQ. Yeah, no kidding. Good for you. And you're talking, of course, Eastern Time, 8:55. Yeah, good for you on the ONDS. ONMD. There's your buy flag right there. Yeah, I see it right there. Yeah, and the interesting thing on that one too is that you could put a pretty tight stop on it because 162 and you just maybe put a stop around, even 155 or so because it was kind of flatlining. How much was it up when you saw it at 8:55? Do you recall what percentage it was up? I mean, I know it's up 42% now, but do you recall what percent it was up at that point? I could go back and try to, do the calculation, but the reason I ask is that, I have okay, well, it had to show, but you must have a minimum on your pre-market actives up, right? Are you using mine? Are you using my pre-market actives up? Because I remember I only have the top 15. So you have way more than not. Okay, so but I don't know what you're using. You obviously have more than 15 in here. So you're not using mine then. Well, you don't have to use mine. Of course, you don't have to use mine. But this is the top list you're talking about, and of course, I see more than 15 here. I only ask because I do recall seeing ONDS in the pre-market, but I don't know where I saw it. Oh, it is from mine. Okay. Well, then it was in the top 15. Well, Riot, I mean, look, it definitely went a lot further than now. Here's another. I think this is another Bitcoin or crypto play, right? Yeah, another crypto play, guys. BKKT, and I think this just showed up. 1635 was the alert, and of course, on a monthly chart, it's got a ton of room, like most of the crypto plays that have been beaten up over the last couple of months. The next high looking left, a lot of room, 1789. So here's an idea. 1789 for BKKT is the next high looking left. Cook. I don't think I'm not sure I've ever seen this one before. Cook. Um, it's just breaking over a dollar. The next high looking left is 104, so it's right there. A monthly chart. Yeah, it doesn't have a ton of room even on a monthly chart though. 126 next high. Weekly chart. Next high is the same. Well, about 120. Sorry, 120. Look, if I knew it was going to go from 104 to 120, sure, I'd take the trade, but I don't know what's going to do that. Yeah, no AI alerts today so far. So I doubt if there's going to be any AI alerts from us today. There's a copper play, a lifetime high for a copper play. But they also, okay, gold and silver products also. This is a mine in Brazil, headquartered in my hometown. So, but they sells copper, gold, and silver products. So that's probably look at that IMPP. It's dumb of me. I really should have taken this short, put a stop just over 5. Could have got in at 490, put a 10-cent stop on it. Would have been a nice trade. Just didn't do it because there were a lot of shares available. 1.22 million at Interactive Brokers to short for IMPP, and it had the room. I remember looking left. Anybody trying the symbol list today, guys? I just trying it right now. I noticed right now anyway that everything is here. But anybody trying their symbol list today? I know they've been actively trying to figure out why this is happening. Okay, give me one moment. Okay. I guess NXTT just resumed or just got halted. NXTT just got halted. Okay, lists are working properly so far. Okay, great. Fingers crossed, guys. Okay, good confirmation, guys, that, so far anyway, the symbol guys, ABVE, ABVE, over 3 again, ABVE, ABVE, over 3 again. Okay, now the next high looking left, pretty close, 306 and then 313. If we can get through that, 333 is the next high. I know a lot of you have been following this, whoops, uh, gotta be a better way to get rid of that report, Pepe. A lot of you were following, I think, the MAGN. Well, not a lot of you, but some are following, the MAGN. Uh, Coming into, I mean, it's been on a beautiful, a big run ever since earnings. $10, 14 now. $10 was the low, and it's just been sort of making its way up. Hasn't been. I don't consider this a great intraday trader because it doesn't want to hold its gains so far. The last 3 days, anyway, it's selling off a bit. But 1455, if it takes out 1455, it's not that far away. On a monthly chart, anyways, 1572 is the next high, and probably yeah, that'll be about the same on a weekly. All right. Looking at the market, last time I looked, it was sort of chopping around the VWAP area. So you can see it got into the VWAP on that bar, held. So the trend, we're making higher lows again. So, you too, Shaw. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week in our YouTube room. I don't understand the question exactly, IQ. Whatever strategies made the cut today, no symbols have come into them. No symbols have triggered on whatever strategies made the cut today from the AI. I'm not sure I understand. I don't understand your question. Yeah, that's well, that's the answer. And if you're wondering like why, how come ONDS as an example is not showing up, whatever strategies made the cut today, ONDS was not part of those strategies. And I could not tell you what the filters are. I have no idea. Even if I saw a strategy, I would not have had made the cut. I don't know what the filters are. Okay, BKKT did not. It's pulled back a little. Well, it's pulled back a little bit. Let's see if the VWAP holds. Okay, VWAPs are around 1590, 1587. So let's see if the VWAP holds it and it bounces off. The crypto plays have been obviously very strong today. So the only thing I'd be looking at right now, if I were, again, I don't know if I'm gonna. I haven't taken any trades today, but the BKKT, maybe if it gets back up to the 1628 mark, that might get it rolling again. Again, it's a crypto play, so and the crypto plays, of course, we've seen Riot and Mara and a bunch of them. Well, GPEP, you convinced me to load your scan and nothing's happening. Now, of course, I didn't change the price range, but I'm looking at the SVRA. Let's see if it takes out those highs again. Oh, it's got room. If it's got room for sure. The trigger was 632. I'm assuming you have the same trigger, 632. Well, you would have to. It would have to be, yeah, because it's a, well, okay, not necessarily, but 632 was the trigger. I'm looking left to see if that had to be the high to take out, but no, on a 10-day high. William, which one were you talking about as a potential swing over six? Let me see if I can find what you were talking about. It was started with TPCT or something, maybe? TCPC, okay. Take a look at it, TCPC. BlackRock, BlackRock, interesting. Had earnings, obviously not a great result from earnings. 604. The next high looking left on a monthly chart is 619. Would you not wait for that to be taken out? I 619 is the next high I see in a monthly chart anyway. And after that, you got 727. SMX not over. Back up to 50. This has been the crazy one for the day for sure. I was going to say, you might want to look at this QNTM. The longer it holds 10, but look at the spread, 20 cents, 21 cents on a $10 stock. Not great. Well, you know that CIBC and RBC are going to fight tooth and nail about that lawsuit. Okay, guys, CHA. This is the only earnings play that I see that's coming through my filters. Starting to drift down a little bit here. There's the VWAP around 15. Let's see if it holds the VWAP and bounces. It's the only earnings play that I see. I'm not saying there are any others, but meeting my filter requirements, it's the only one I see. You can see a little sell flag here on the 2 minute. It is shortable for me, Interactive Brokers. Interesting. When you read this headline, you think, okay, it must be down, right? It sees revenue decline in Q3 amid heavy competition. However, it's up. I don't know what else they're saying in here, but it's causing it to be up. But time is it now, guys? 10:56. So we're calling it 11 o'clock. Maybe another hour for me. William says he'll keep the room open till 1. And Obi, I don't know if you want to keep it open after that. Because the post market, whatever you want to, well, post market after 1 o'clock, I think the market is still open. Did you say till 6? All right. So Obi is actually going to keep the room open. So William, Obi's going to keep the room open sometime between 2 and 2:30. Okay. So 5 o'clock. Okay, Kev. Thanks. So Obi will keep the room open sometime between at least to 2 and maybe to 2:30 after I leave. Oops. Okay. SMX just opened and now just got halted again. Or it just got halted. I'm sorry. It did just get halted. Well, I have a very simple day trading strategy. If and I don't consider myself a scalper. Now, sometimes I may get out of a trade early or earlier um, than I thought just because of the way it's trading. But I don't go into a trade thinking I'm only going to hold this for 5 minutes or 1 minute. I mean, I could hold it all day as long as it's working. So working meaning, of course, I'm going to follow the trade wave. And I get these. I like my continuation, my gap scanner. But it's all about when I click on an alert. What do I see when I look left? Does it have enough room for me to take the trade? If I'm going to short it, I'm looking left to see where the next low is on the daily. I can't see it on the daily. I look on the weekly and then the monthly, and that's basically it. Yeah, every alert I get can be very different. I should have taken the IMPP short. I should have. It was setting up just underneath 5. No reason for me not to take the trade, and it got all the way down to 450. Now, I would have obviously taken some off. I've covered some here. That's my main right now. That's my main right now. The gap scan. And when it starts drying up, in other words, not getting too many alerts, I'll start looking at this one. But that's it. I'll hold it if I'm in the trade and the wave is keeping me, and the wave is still going in the direction I want it to. I'll just keep in the trade. So, Kev, can people share links in TI to their layout, like Think or Swim? Well, this is just, I call this more information. This is just showing you when stocks are halted and then when they resume. Okay. It's more just information, as I call it. Okay. Sometimes I can, if it sets up the way I want to, I might take a trade. But it's a very, very specific setup. But I call this more for information than anything. And people share links and trade ideas to their layout. Like, well, I'm not 100% sure I know what you mean, Kev. I mean, I can share, we can share links and trade ideas, of course, if that's what you mean. That, so if you want my exact screen layout, I don't have a link for it, okay? What I do is I get you to pick and choose what you might want. For instance, these time frames, you may not want these time frames at all. You may have completely different idea. So it'll be up to you to create the chart. I mean, it's simple enough to create the charts and put your time frames in that you want. But I am sharing this, the gap continuation. I'm sharing this, the movers to the upside, and I'm sharing this, the halts resumes. So what you see here, and I'm also sharing my single stock window. You just have to go to my homepage and pick and choose what you might want. Okay, if that makes sense. Now the idea is, do you know if you click on my homepage and go down to the scans, when you see something here, maybe that's more your question. When you click on it, how to get it onto your monitor. If you don't, just let me know. I can show you because it's the same for any link. Well, you know how to do that. Okay. So if you saw something that you liked from here, then you get it on your monitor. The next step is, so for instance, let's say you wanted the gap continuation scan, gap continuation or reversal. So if you have it on your monitor, then your next step is make sure you save it to your cloud also. So right click, save or share to cloud, and save it. So now it's in your cloud. So if you accidentally, hit that little X up here, so you don't have to do it every day. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. You don't have to go to my homepage and load these every single day. So save it to the cloud, number one. And then if you decided that you want this as part of your layout, and you created some charts for you, like the time frames that you like. I don't know what your trading experience is, Kev. I know you're new to trade ideas, but you may have a lot of trading experience. So you may have different time frames you want. So create your charts. It's simple enough to do. You click on new and click on chart window. And that'll load a chart. And I don't know, probably the SPY is going to be the default. But then what I would do is once you have it and then size it the way you want, then you right click and duplicate it. The simplest way is just to duplicate it. And when you duplicate it, then you just change the time frame to whatever you want. This little clock there, you just click on that and then change it to whatever time frame you want. Do it again, depending how many charts you want. I've got a 2 and a 5, a daily, a weekly, and a monthly. So you just basically you get a chart and then just yeah, I think the easiest way is just to duplicate the chart. You can keep going to new and chart window and load, but I think the easiest way is to maybe just duplicate the chart, especially if you create your volume bars as you want them. You might have the VWAP. I like to have the VWAP on my 5-minute charts, things like that. I like to have the 200-day moving average on my daily chart. These are all, obviously just customize them the way you want. William, I've actually seen that a lot. Um, I don't get up early enough to see the early buy flags, but I have seen that in the pre-market, getting a buy flag, and some of these ones that are very active. So you get the buy flag, you just can't, but you cannot scan for it. Maybe one day. Or you see it, but you can't. Okay. Let me back that up. You can't. But what you're using the Market Explorer window, and right clicking, select the strategy, trade wave, and then trade wave buy. This does not work in the pre-market. Okay, but yeah, you can see buy flags and sell flags in the pre-market. Yes. If you're yeah, JB, that's the whole idea of if you've created a doc, if your layout is a docked layout, okay, then you can load. Yeah, I mean, this is not a dock layout that I've got, JB. Okay, this is not a dock layout that I've got. But as long as if I click on new from the toolbar and then click on dock channel bar, not channel bar, dock channel bar, I can load anything. Suppose I can load anything from the dock channel bar, and my layout will not disappear, even though this is not even a dock layout. But if you have a dock layout, I mean, and as long as you load things from the channel from the dock channel bar, okay, then your layout will not disappear. Now, without getting I don't wanna confuse people too much, but if you do have a docked layout, if your layout, for instance, if this is my layout that I use, if I docked this, created a dock, then, I could, in theory, use this channel bar and load things from that channel bar, and my dock layout will not disappear, okay? I don't like to tell people that because I wish I would just get rid of this, but so does that answer your question? That was the whole Yeah, I mean, if your layout is a docked layout, then you can go to the old channel bar and load things from that, and your docked channel will not, your docked layout will not disappear. Yes. Now, you should always, just in case, okay, you should always save your layout, of course, just in case something crazy happens. Save your layout to the cloud, so just in case something crazy does happen, so that if it did disappear for some reason, it's still in your cloud. You can just easily bring it back. But the whole idea of the reason why this was created, the dock channel bar, was for that very reason. Most people do not dock their layouts. They don't know how to. It's cumbersome. I get it. So consequently, in the old days when we didn't have the dock channel bar, if you wanted to kind of go through these channels, surf through these channels, well, it was a pain because then your layout would disappear. You could always bring it back, assuming you saved it, but you know, I think people wanted to have their layout always up and running, and then they could surf through the different channels using the docked channel. That was the reason for the creation of this, because I think most people would not then use the channel bar, the old channel bar, and surf through it because it was just a hassle having their layout disappear. Interesting. Okay, William. I do remember you're talking about that. Mm, that is correct. That is correct. There are channels in the channel bar that you're not finding on the dock channel bar, and I wish they kept the old channel bar because some wanted to see some of the things from the old channel bar, and that's the reason. These are the ones that did not make it over to the dock channel bar were channels that just weren't used that much, and that's why they didn't make it over to the dock channel bar. But I guess not. I mean, that was yeah, it didn't make it over. So I don't know. I mean, it has to be the reason. Yeah, yeah, I think that's what you were talking. Yeah, William. When you look at the two applications, yeah, ABVE is making a new high. So this might be. I mean, hey, it might be a late day. Well, late day, or we're only an hour and 45 till the market closes, and the high right there. So it took out that high. The next high is 333. So yeah, I mean, it's got a shot. Now, you can always take something, and I would do this after hours. Okay, so it's when it's sort of unusual tech, and anybody else listening, if you click on new and then channel bar, okay, and you see something here that is not in the dock channel bar, but you want it. Okay, now don't click on it right now. Okay, wait for the market to close or get out. There's the momentum you're talking about. It is a little surprising it didn't make it over, but that I think that was the explanation. But when you can when the market when you want to get out of trade ideas, you can just shut down your layout, okay? Or even if you don't shut down your layout, you click on momentum, and then the momentum channel will appear, and then you can do something like this. So let's pretend momentum was here, okay? I am surprised it's not here, but for whatever reason, it didn't make it over, okay? So unusual volume. Let's look at unusual volume. So so imagine that you have loaded momentum from the old channel bar, and you wanted something from it. I don't know what it looks like now. I'm not going to load it, but all you have to do is if you wanted anything from it, you right click and duplicate it into free floating window. Okay. Now I noticed that some of the channels it just says duplicate, but let's say it does say duplicate into free floating window, and so now when you do that, that popped on my one of my other monitors. So you can see right now, here's the volume thrust, and here it is, free floating. So you could take something from any one of those channels in the old channel bar if you really wanted them, and just get it free floating, and then save it. Maybe either if you really liked it, incorporate it as part of your layout, or at least save it to the cloud. So now you actually have it, and you can load it from the cloud if you wanted, or incorporate it as part of your layout, if that all makes sense. So you can take things from the old channel bar that you might like and get them onto your screen, and then either again incorporate it part of your layout, or at least save it to the cloud. Right click, save or share to cloud, save it. So now it's in your cloud, and you can always bring it back at whenever you want. Okay, so you don't like 10 windows from a layout. 10 is not a lot, including all the charts, etc. Really, it's not a lot. And you don't have to have them up and running. Well, they're running, but you don't have to have them, as you probably know, you don't have to have them visible, because if I click on down here, I mean, you can see how many I've got, but I don't have them all up and running. They're running. I don't have them visible. Actually, most of them are visible. I guess most of them are visible, but this is what I really concentrate on right here, right here. This is what I really concentrate on. Yeah, so the gap up and go or gap continuation or reversal, just to explain what this is doing and why it says M up here. So this is what we call a multi-strategy window. Typically, the use of a multi-strategy window, if you only have one monitor and you've got several alert windows on your screen, on your monitor, and you want to put them all into a multi-strategy window. So in other words, one window. Now, I don't have a problem with screen space, but what I like to do is if it's a similar type scan, I do like to put them into a multi-strategy window. So if I right click, I'm going to show you what's in here. I right click and hover over strategies. So I've got a gap up and go, a gap down and reverse, a gap up and reverse, and a gap down and go. So, and they're all color coordinated. So a gap up and go, what that means is it's not gapped up. Remember, the gap is the first print of the day, the first print of the day, first trade of the day. That's the gap. So I had to have gapped up a certain amount, dollar wise and also percentage wise. And you can see if you want to open it up to see exactly what it's looking for, you can just hover over this and see open alert window. So this you can see exactly what it's looking for as an example. So the gap down in reverse. So the stock gap down and then it's starting to reverse. And just like the gap up and go, when you get the alert, what happened is the stock did gap up and it made a new high for the day. Doesn't mean it's going to continue. Okay, but at the time of the alert, that is what was happening. And the gap down and reverse, the same sort of thing. It gap down and it's starting to reverse. Doesn't mean it's going to continue to reverse. The gap up and reverse, same sort of thing. Stock gapped up, now it's starting to come down. And then the gap down and go is stock gap down, and then at the time of the alert, it was making a new low for the day. So you don't have to have them all checked. For instance, if all you care about is a gap up and go, then you just uncheck the rest of them. If all you care about is potentially going long, because the gap up and go is a potentially long alert, and the gap down in reverse is a long alert, then you would uncheck these two because these are short alerts. Now, I like to use this now as a watch list all day long because just because we get, for instance, here the gap up and go. Well, you can see actually, you can see what happened. It actually look at this. Actually, it remember I was talking about this one. Would the VWAP hold it? So you could have taken this and said, okay, let's put an alert around the VWAP and see if it gets there. Number one, and then I get alerted to it. So the alert happened at 16:35. You could have said, you know what? This looks like the VWAP held. I'm going to take the trade just over 16, and that's a way. So you don't have to. The fact that it didn't work right at 16:35. That's why I like to use this like a watch list all day long. And sometimes it doesn't have I will take the trade in the opposite direction because just because it's set up as a short, it may have failed as a short and maybe it's bouncing. So I can go long. I like to use this like a watch list all day long. And I would really recommend that people take this and create I call it the don't repeat version because what it's telling me is, okay, here is your first alert for Riot at 9:49 at 16:36. I can go back in time then and say, well, what did it do from there? And you can see it actually did pretty well. It got up to 1665 and now it's starting, you can start to play it. Just gives you just a very few, usually very few. Now it depends on the day, of course, but not that many symbols to have to keep track of over the course of the day. The AU, you can see that the AUUC, this could turn into a short. I mean, it was a wonderful long from 2107 before it pulled back at all, but up to 2150. But now, you see that sell fight. If you do see it, well, you could have maybe taken a short on it, going in the opposite direction of the alert, using it like a watch list. So if you don't know how to do this, create the don't repeat, just let me know, and I'll show you how to do it. And that you can use that on your alert, on your scans. That's why I like this scan a lot because it gives me a watch list that I can watch all day long. This is just the repeating version of that. Every time if ADTX made another new low, we would see it. No, I understand. I understand it. I don't know why it was just designed not to. We could probably ask next week, Dan. You could ask him how. Why can't if the buy and sell flags do appear in the pre-market, why can't we get an alert in that? Well, you can ask. Okay, coming from the customers. Okay, you can ask. I don't know if there's some technical reason why we can't. I'm just looking to see. You see, here's one. So we could get the like on the go no go, which I don't use anymore. Here's one in the pre-market, 833. Okay, so it's not, but I'll bring it up. The okay, you know what? I have a feeling I know what the reason is because it's using the relative volume filter. Okay, and the go no go probably is not using the relative volume filter, and that's probably the reason. So they'd have to take the relative volume filter out. Okay, because you can see we've got the relative volume right there. Okay, so and that's on the daily. That's on the candle itself. So it's using the relative volume, and as we all know, the relative volume using that. So within this strategy, which I have no idea what the filters are, um, the relative volume is obviously being used. Oh yeah, I mean if you're clicking on a symbol in the pre-market, the relative volume will not appear. Okay, so Nosh, the reason why you're not seeing all the original ones is that when you load the scan, you're talking the yeah, when you load the scan, that's when your scan starts. Okay? That's why. That's when your scan. If you take this and you incorporate it as part of your layout, and then Monday morning, assuming you load trade ideas by at least 9:45 because that's the first alert you're going to get, then you'll see everything. See how it starts for me? Now, we didn't get one at what the first alert was at 9:49. The earliest alert will be 9:45, and that is by my design. Okay, so it'll start working the minute that you load it. So whatever, and it'll show the last ones and all the and all the different ones. So that's why ADX is showing ADTX, I guess. I can't quite read it. But again, if you keep this part of your layout and you load trade ideas, say at 9:30 at least, you'll start to see the alerts coming in no earlier than 9:45. Doesn't mean you're going to get one at 9:45, but no earlier than. Now, if you want to see them starting at 9:30, you can do it. Just be prepared though. Stocks will move up and down, up and down, up and down. Ah, so look at BKKT. Okay. So that's why it's only showing three. More than likely, so you know, since 10:54, for instance, for me, it's 11:30 now. Nothing is showing up here. Okay, it makes sense. And that's with any of my scanning. If you loaded the halts resumes, you'll only see the last one. If you loaded this one, there's V. If you loaded this one, you're not going to see all the ones that I saw earlier on in the day. It'll start from when you loaded it. You can link it to Lightspeed, okay, but you cannot link it to Webull. Webull is at least as far as I know, because it's a web-based program. You cannot link it to a web-based program. You can or web-based, a browser-based program, okay. But Lightspeed, you can, yes. Requires a little bit of work, but you can do it. Yeah, every time you reload, you're just gonna see the same ones because there's nothing has happened since 10:54. So it basically will look at the last alert in each one of these, and you can see there wasn't even a blue one. Okay, so that's why you're only seeing three. A blue one meaning a gap down in reverse. So so in this particular today, there's been a gap up and go. There has not been a gap down in reverse. In blue. Otherwise, you would have seen if there had been one, you would have seen the last one when you loaded it. Okay. But this is gets complicated. Just make sure if you want to see this starting from 9:45 on, make sure you incorporate it as part of your layout when you load trade ideas, and then you'll see them right from 9:45 on. Now, if you want to take it out, so you see it right at 9:30, you can do it, but just remember, you're going to see a lot of alerts coming at you very quickly and quite frantic. So I'm not going to show you how to do that. Okay, you're kind of new, so why not just wait for? I mean, I do it, so why wouldn't you do it? Wait for 9:45 before you'll get your first alert. But again, you may not get one at 9:45. It's like the AI, okay? Our AI now today is a day in which you're not going to get anything because of the half day. Our AI does not start giving alerts until at least 9:40. It doesn't mean you'll get one at 9:40, but that's the earliest you'll get one. So the same thing with this scan, the earliest you'll get one is at 9:45. Doesn't mean you'll get one at 9:45. So this is telling me here, of course, the last alert at 10:54 means that no stocks are making new highs or lows, and, that are meeting all these filter requirements. Now now if you're wondering, well, why isn't V here? It didn't meet the filter requirements, okay? But you could have seen V here. So Panino, again, our external linking tool, you click on Tools, External Linking, and then you try to establish the link with Lightspeed. Now, sometimes, you add the link and you follow these directions. I don't have Lightspeed, so I cannot tell you exactly, but I know there are people that I think have Lightspeed, maybe in this room, and so, oh, good, okay, good. I'm gonna say to follow the instructions and remember, guys, if you're new to all this, what linking does, it's a big time saver if you are clicking on a lot of alerts all day long, like myself. You know, when I get an alert here, instead of my having to type in ADTX into my order entry into Interactive Brokers, I just click on any symbol that I see in Trade Ideas anywhere, SVRA. Okay, maybe it's going to start to work now, Pepe. So I click on, any symbol that's generated from anything. This is my price alerts window. These are the monthly strategy window alerts, or my a scan, a top list window, anything. It'll load automatically into my order entry into Interactive Brokers because I've established a link. This has got nothing to do with auto trading. It's just a great time saver if you're, especially like me, who is clicking on a lot of different symbols all day long. I don't have to type it into my order entry. And IB, we link beautifully with IB. Now, if this were a day in which I would maybe take this trade, okay, this SVRA, but it's a short day, and so I just don't think I'm going to do it. But if you look left, well, it's got a ton of room. Well, I've got to go back to 2021. I don't see. Yeah, I mean, this month right here is June of 2019. So we're talking 6 years ago. Probably doesn't matter. There was a daily high within that month. That's what that. Well, there is a way to get it working with Trade Idea or with TOS. Also, you have to run both programs in administration mode, like Trade Ideas and TOS, and then you have to have, I don't know, some focus chart or something, and don't. I mean, it's not as nice as IB, that's for sure. But I know people that do it. I think there's even a video which I should always have. I know Pepe's got it. There it is. So I don't know if you've seen that video. Thank you, Pepe. I don't know if you watched the video, but that's how you can link with Thinkorswim. Okay, so you've seen it. Okay. Yeah, we haven't asked. It's been about 3 weeks now, Pepe. 3 weeks? Not about 3 weeks now with your, after your arm surgery? Able to throw a fastball 100 miles an hour? Yeah. So it still really hurts. Now, did your doctor tell you that's typical, that it'll keep hurting for so long after? So, guys, this is a very interesting one, this SVRA. I mean, if it, there's the high today was 638. Oh, AI, okay, AI says it's typical, okay. Okay, so Dr. Farm in our YouTube room, what is the difference between trade ideas and regular trading platforms like Webull? Well, we're not a brokerage, number one. Okay, so but the idea with trade ideas, you can create all your own scans. Okay, with exact. Now, do we have every single metric under the sun? No, but you can basically create your own scans and getting real time alerts like E-Trade and even IB and they can give you a lists of stocks that are perhaps up the most today and down the most today, things like that. But with interactive broker with trade ideas, you can create you've got a lot of flexibility in creating the scans that you want to see. Okay, so for instance, this is my gap continuation or reversal scan. So if I break one of them out, say the gap up and go. So here's an example of a scan that I've created. This is what I want to see. You know, the stock is between 50 cents and $30. The volume is 300,000 shares minimum, etc. Okay. So that's what you can do with trade ideas, create a scenario of what you want to see, and then create a what we call a trigger, in this case, the new high of the day. Okay. But we have a lot of, I mean, just to give you an idea, I mean, these are all the real-time alerts that we've got. Okay. Now, nobody expects anybody to learn them all, but the reason why we have so many, and then here are the filters that you can use. I mean, there's tons of different filters. So the idea is you can combine them to give them the type of scan you're looking for. So if you have any experience trading, then you look at again, nobody expects anybody to learn all of these, but you might scroll down and go, ah, I know what that means. I know what that means, and you can start to incorporate, build your own scan of and so it can really help you zero in on what you want to see. But we're not a broker at all. So you still need a broker, of course, to trade. Now, we also have a lot of scans that we're sharing. I mean, I'm sharing a lot of my scans, and but there are a lot of scans here in our doc channel bar. All these are theme-based channels that you can take a look at. These are all different types of scans within. Okay, we have an after hours channel, a pre-market channel. So there are all sorts, and you can always adjust everything to your style of trading. So, for instance, I just showed you my scan there. Doesn't mean that that has to be what you want to see exactly. For instance, you might want a different price range. I have a surprised my price range is so low, only 30. I created this long time ago. But anyway, but you could take this and say, you know what? I'd rather see between $1 and $50 or So, I mean, the best thing, the trade ideas is an idea generator and you can create, within reason, you can create just about any scenario that you're looking for within reason. I say within reason because we don't force people to learn a programming language in order to create the scans or what you might want to see. So that's why we tried to create enough different real-time alerts and enough different filters so that for the majority of our customers, they could find a way to combine them to give them the type of scan they're looking for. If you have any trading experience at all. Yeah, luckily, well, I've got two torn rotator. I'm sorry. Yeah, two torn rotator cuffs, but I'm not going to get any surgery on them just because, luckily, for most tasks I do, I can do them. And but like my the surgeon said, I mean, you're on for a long recovery and with no absolute guarantee that it's going to be you'll never get back. Well, I shouldn't say never, but there's no guarantee it'll get back like to 100%. So I said, you know what, I can live with it. So, Dr. Farm, did that kind of answer your question a little bit? I mean, I can elaborate a little bit more. Well, not necessarily. Scanning will give you the ideas that I don't know if you have how much trading experience you've got. Again, I'm talking to Dr. Farm in our YouTube room. So I get an alert here, okay? Sure, it's showing up because I created a scan that allows, say, IMPP to show up. My next step is to click on the alert and what do I see on a chart? Does it make sense for me to take the trade based on what I see in a chart? So it's not like 100% just because I get an alert from my scan, but what scanning does is it eliminates a lot of things that you probably wouldn't want to see. But then the next step is because I don't know what I'm going to see on a chart until I click on on the idea. That's why the program is called Trade Ideas. It generates ideas based on what your price range you want, minimum volume that you want, things like that. Okay, so it's going to generate the ideas, but then you have to you look at a chart. For instance, if you wanted to go long something, well, it helps you zero in on stocks that are. Are you day trading, or are you more of are you trying to day trade, or are you trying to swing trade more? I mean, it helps in the trading, so because it eliminates 99% of the stocks out there that you don't want to see. Maybe not that many, but I mean, otherwise, if you don't scan, if you don't have an idea about what you're looking for, you've got 10,000 stocks out there. How are you going to zero in on what might be interesting for you to trade? And that's what scanning does. Yeah, well, short, long, and short. Yeah, I mean, you can set up this scan that I've got here, the gap continuation or reversal. It gives me long and short ideas. Guys, take a look at Urban here. You know, big earnings play a couple of days ago, but look what's happening now. It's breaking underneath the VWAP, which is around $75, and it's breaking down. And the wave is now starting to turn, curl down a little bit. I wonder maybe this will be a. It's not following the market. The market is still pretty strong, other than these two bars here. But I mean, we're still in an uptrend. So it is now below the low of Thursday, Wednesday, sorry. So this was the reaction to earnings. That was the reaction to earnings on Wednesday for Urban Outfitters. But now it's just at the low of that day, and obviously looking left. I mean, it's got a ton of room underneath. Not saying it's going to get there, but it's definitely looking a little bit weaker, especially if you follow the wave. I mean, the wave has been down, a little bit of consolidation, and now the wave is continuing to curl down. I'm not going to look, Pepe. Well, not while I'm still live. Maybe I'll look afterwards. All right, guys. So listen, it's getting close to when I'm going to take off. I mean, I'm again the market. Remember, the market's closing in a little over an hour from now. But what I will do is, okay, I've got this. Clicked on the link. I saw TMC. I see it right here. Saw TMC in the pre-market. Yeah. So there's your buy flag. How what you're talking about? Well, interesting too, because it did even on a 2 minute, 2 minute and the five, it closed above the VWAP. So it did close above it, which is good. Then you could have made up your mind right around here, 1650. It's up to 1675. Okay, guys. So before I do take off, put my homepage link in one last time. Ah, JB. Okay, excellent. Strange day, because I just don't like. I mean, I should have taken at least the one trade, the short of IMPP, but I don't really like trading on the half days. So clicking on my homepage link, this is what you're going to find. So again, here's how you can take out a subscription to Trade Ideas using a nice promo code. You'll get 30% off using Barry 30% off a premium annual subscription. Okay. Otherwise, you can get 25% off the two monthlies, a premium monthly or a standard monthly or a standard annual 25. So you can get 30% off a premium annual. All I ask, if you're going to take out a subscription, please use my code. It helps to keep the rooms free, moderating a YouTube room and what we call the main room, the trading room. Company tracks the promo code usage, and if they see my code being used enough, they'll keep their rooms free. Scroll down a bit, keep it simple, get the trade of the week. You can sign up for it right here. You'll get it before the market opens every Monday morning. It is free. If you sign up for it and you don't think you're getting it, check your spam folder first. And if you have Gmail, check your promotions folder. If you don't see it there, then by all means, contact us. You take out a subscription to Trade Ideas. The first thing you must do, if you click on my homepage link, scroll down, education section, more info. First thing to do is this: getting started with Trade Ideas. 12 short videos to get you started. If you don't have Trade Ideas and you're wondering about the program, is this right for me? You can start off with that second video and go to the end. That should give you an idea about whether or not it's something you might want to try, at least for a month. Okay. Back to basics. If you're new to trading, 15 videos for you, all free if you're new to trading. And last, if you're looking for my scans and you've clicked on my homepage link, scroll down, middle section. Technically, they're not all scans, but here's what I'm currently sharing with everybody. 2 races, the large cap race and a wide open race, I'll call it. I'm not running the races right now, but no reason why you shouldn't, or at least take a look at them. Because I'm not running a race doesn't mean they're bad. It just means that I've decided to really, really narrow down my focus. And just looking at the gap continuation or reversal. And then this gives me this movers to the upside versus movers to the downside. It's 2 competing scans. One showing stocks making new highs, one showing stocks making new lows. So when this gets a little bit, not boring necessarily, but don't get as many alerts coming in, this is going to be active all day long. And this is all real-time alerts that you're seeing. It's just like old style tickers. This is what I use in the pre-market. The pre-market actives up, pre-market actives down. Halts resumes is right here. Okay. And then this is what the combo scan looks like. I decided you're not going to get many alerts from it. So that's why I don't mind having it up and running, even though I just want to concentrate on this. This is the combo scan, Pepe's combo scan. I don't have the momentum scan up and running, but you can obviously take a look at it. And that's it for those of you who are new to all of this and the trading room itself. So the trading room, this room right here will be open Monday morning, Monday to Friday at 6:45 to 7, 6:45 a.m. Eastern time. And I'll try to open YouTube at around 8:30. I'll get on the mic at 9 for both rooms. And I don't open the main room at 6:45 because I live in Vancouver, Canada. So a little early for me, but that's why Obi opens the main room at 6:45. Nope, there's no screen sharing and nobody's talking, but there's still a lot of action in the room. Action meaning traders are, posting ideas. So if you're looking, for those of you who are on YouTube, you're looking for a more active room, you can come over to the trading room. You can stay in YouTube if you want. Nothing wrong with that if you just want to hear me and see my screen. But if you are looking for a lot more interaction amongst other traders, you can come over to the main room. Also, guys, you may be getting emails saying change your password. Please do it. Don't disregard it. All right, guys. Well, I don't see any questions. So, I'll always hang around a little later, a little bit longer if there are questions. I will hang around. But if I don't see any questions, I will take off. The only thing I can say about the V Triple E is it didn't make whatever the filter requirements are. Again, I understand I don't know what the filter requirements are, or was it way early? I don't know. Maybe see, it's right here. So it was right here, 9:28 on a 2-minute chart anyway. Now, since then, well, I can see right there on a 2-minute chart. It probably didn't show up on a 5-minute chart for whatever reason. Okay, yeah. I can't tell. It didn't meet whatever the filter requirements are. It didn't meet them. On a 2-minute chart, it did. So I can't tell you. I don't know what the filters are. I don't see it here at 10:15 unless I don't see it here. I'm looking at 10:15. I don't see a buy flag. Oh, sorry. You're right. It's right. It's right in front of me. So you're saying I don't know. I can't tell you why it didn't show up then in the trade wave. I can't tell you. I there's something we probably should do something about this because understand that this was created by Michael Knott. He's not at Trade Ideas anymore. So it's possible that what happened, it's possible. Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell you why. I'm gonna say it's possible that it didn't close, whatever happened, it after the fact, it showed the buy, but when it was happening, it didn't show. I don't know. I can't tell you why. Remember, there's some other filters in here. It probably met certainly the price range was fine, I'm gonna assume. Though, are you getting stocks that are under this stock right there was $1.82. It's possible that there's a minimum. Now there's one at 181, so that destroys that theory. Yeah, but I don't know. I do not know why it would not show up, because I don't have access to the filters, and meanwhile, guys, look at SMX. Is SMX is probably what's the high of the day? Well, it's at the high of the day now, and it's halted. What a what a wild ride. Yeah, can't answer. I can't answer the question, IQ, why it would not show up in the, trade wave scan, the 5-minute. It might have had something to do with the relative volume not being I don't know. I just don't know. Is this what you're talking about, William? All these press releases that SMX is putting out? Rare metals? I thought when I first saw this, I thought it was all to do with security. Oh, I thought you meant the stock was 110. All right, guys, I think I'll take off now. So OB actually will keep the room open till about 2 o'clock, sometime between 2 and 2:30. Even though I'm going to take off now. So we'll see you guys Monday morning. Back to normal Monday morning. Okay. I'll get on the mic at 9, but the room will be open at quarter to 7. Yeah, have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you then. So I will keep the screen up and running. I'll put it on surf mode, and I will keep the screen up and running. Rely on Obi to shut it down. And for those of you on YouTube, I will end the stream right now.